Good evening, all. How are we on this beautiful evening? Hope you are well. If this is your first time joining, thank you. My name's Lisa, and I'm the face behind Lisa's Loft. And I'm here to inspire your creativeness using Stampin' Up products. Right, so just on my checks, make sure I am live in the correct place, and we are. So each month I choose a product as my product showcase, and I use that set of products, whatever it is, for the majority of my projects wherever possible. Sometimes I have blog hops and that to do that just don't lend themselves to that product for the theme, so I go off, but everything I do on my lives I will use that product for. Hi Val, yay, found me. Thank you for joining. Hope you are well. Right, so this month, let's switch our camera down. We are using the Summer Happiness bundle. Love this bundle, thought it was very fitting for this time of year, and especially as we're in the midst of a heatwave lull at the moment here in the UK, aren't we? We've had a major bit, it's a bit cooler, and then it's supposed to be coming back, so thought this was very fitting. Love the images in here, very simple, great for adding colour, and it does come with, or you can purchase a coordinating washi tape, which is this here. I've just popped that onto some cardstock, and these are great to die cut out, as I have many in my little wallet here, to use as ephemera and images on your creations. But I'm keeping it simple. Hi Carol, thanks for joining. It's been really quite breezy in Newmarket, but still, yeah, we've had a breeze today, but yeah, it's been very nice. Out the breeze, it's quite warm. It's dropped to 19 now. I know in my kitchen it was 26 earlier today, so it's still quite warm. But yeah, that breeze is very welcome, I have to say. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping it quite simple. I'm just using stamps and dies with some other products, maybe. Trying to keep the washi tape for later on in the month. So today on my live, I created a card. I created two cards. These two cards, which I love. Both very different, using different colour combos. But I thought for my scrapbook page this evening, I'm going to go along with this as my inspiration. So we are going to mask again. So I'm going to grab my glass mat. Sorry for the glare. I'm going to grab my blue blending brush, a piece of white 12 by 12. Where have I put my mask? Here's my mask. Hope you've both had a lovely day. Hope you've managed to get some jobs done, some crafting maybe, taken some time for yourself. All right, I'm just going to line that up. Now, it doesn't matter too much if it moves because I shall be moving it, but I want to keep it to cover the page. I will trim it down after, but we'll start with it trying to cover it. And I'm going to move that over slightly. Right, so Azure Afternoon. This isn't a colour I use a lot of. Hayden gave me the colour this morning, and And then I looked in my colour coach to find colours, colour combo to go with it. And it comes up with Calypso Coal and Kush Curry, which are also not my colours, but together they look fab. It's a gorgeous mask, isn't it, this? Yes, this is one of the 2 new masks, water and dotted line decorative masks. And that's the dotted line, if you can see that, which I have used. It's got its uses just for making a bit of texture in the background and that. But this is the one that I really love, the water. I have used it before on my scrapbooking, but in a different way to this, and not as water, just as a bit of a texture. I'm just lightly putting down some ink all over. Like I say, I'm not overly fussed if it moves. Oh, Carol's been spending time with her girlies. How nice. Yeah, I think sometimes we forget just to spend time for us and our family, don't we? Without doing anything for anybody, like just for the fun of it, spending quality time. Just grabbing that ink. As you can see, I'm not being careful of where I'm putting ink. At the edges, I tend to go, because I'm not holding it, I will go up and down with the edge so that it doesn't lift. Like that. Right, so I'm happy. Look at that. It's good. It's like crazy paving, isn't it? But then I'm going to turn it slightly and then go over again. Grab that ink out. Spread it all over. Must admit, I enjoy doing this because it's very forgiving. Thank you, Carol. It does look fab. My inspiration from today, I had a card sketch to make that card, but also I'd seen a card from Sarah Sayers at Kiss Creative that inspired me. And I was like, oh, I could do a similar kind of thing on my card with my layout from today. And then I thought, I could do something this evening as well. And then look, with us having twisted it, it just gives that slight little extra colour to it and pattern. I'm just going to go over the areas where it didn't fit. And because it is the way it is, as long as you blend it out, you don't, it doesn't matter that you put bits like that's overlapped quite a few times, but that's okay. I'll do a little bit more down here. Get rid of that. That's quite stark white. See, I've got a line there where it covered over, but we can get rid of that now. I'm blending this over. Keeping the area quite dark, that helps get rid of that. And then I'm going to add a bit more in the middle. Oops. Good job, they're sturdy, isn't it? There, I think I'm quite happy with that. Almost looks like watery ripple. A bit more there maybe. Just really light. Try and get rid of those white areas. Not particularly trying to get the pattern, but just where there are still some white, quite bright white. I don't want. Hi Lisa. Well, I'm reading what you've put, Pat. Hello, Pat. Thanks for joining. So yeah, I'm now happy with that because I haven't got bright bits of white anywhere. It's all quite blended in. All right, I will wash my mask properly later, but for now I am just going to give it a quick wipe off to get the excess in my tea towel. This is an old crafting tea towel, not one that I use in my kitchen at all. But I like these thick terry tea towels for my craft room. Are quite good for lots of things. And I do also keep my things covered with them, like my paper, so that that doesn't die with the sun. And I keep my cut and emboss machines covered, stop them yellowing a little bit. Right, so I am going to cut this down, and the other bits I will save. And I think I'm going to cut it to 9 by 9. And we'll just have a square that is 9 by 9. Still got some bits that I've trimmed off in there earlier. Darker, lighter, lighter. Here we go. We've got a nice piece of 9 by 9 for our pool. Then I want an edge on my pool for the side, and I think I want that white. So let's grab another piece of 12 by 12. Oops. Oh. Now we do two 12 by 12 whites, and we've got basic white and white willow. I'll be honest, I don't really know the difference. I think one is perhaps a brighter white. I'm not 100%. I'm going to make this 9.5 square. But I buy basic white. I like the basic white. I have had some white willow, because when it comes in kits, there tends to be white willow or willow white, whichever. But I prefer, as I say, there we go. You can't really see that on the screen very well, but it does show. Well, I'm going to glue that down. Does anybody else have a preference on the white willow or basic white? Do we know the difference? I'll be honest, when I first started buying, when we first brought out the white willow, willow white, whichever, basic white was cheaper. It worked out cheaper per sheet, and that's why I bought it to begin with. But I find then, at least if there is a slight colour variation, then if I use any of my A4 basic white with it, it'll match. I've missed Carol's comment there. Gemma's on a course next 2 days, so I will be with Ellie. 6 months. Oh, wow. That has gone so quick. Oh, I love that age though. 4 to 8 months. They're in that real giggly stage, aren't they? Where they're learning to respond and everything with you. Yeah, love that. But 6 months, crikey. Right, okay. I'm just sitting here stroking. Right, so I'm going to map that on to a piece of, I'm not sure, we could go crushed curry, which I quite like, onto a piece of Azure Afternoon, which I really like, and onto Calypso. No, I like it on the Azure Afternoon. I forget there is a choice, if I'm honest. It's basic white only. Well, yeah. And I think a lot of people are like that, aren't they? Oh, I've only got one more piece of this. I'm going to do what I don't very often do. I'm going to gut the middle out of this because I haven't got a lot of it. So, my piece there is 9 by 9. Something's just fallen, and oh, it's the cat. My God, the cat jumped up behind. I was like, "What's that?" So I'm just going to mark more or less where this will come with a pencil. Some little pencil marks. It's not exactly in place, but it's somewhat. And then I'm going to come inside those marks and cut. Like I say, I don't normally do this, but I have only got 2 sheets of this colour. And because it's not a colour I use very often, I don't want to buy a whole pack. No, I'll just gut it so that I've got some left. There we go. Didn't cut that very well, did I? But it won't matter because it won't be seen. Oh, my foot. Wrong foot. It has gone a little bit yellowy, yes. Do you know, I'm quite, it's quite surprising how much it doesn't hurt. For those that don't know, I was putting cans in the fridge, topping the fridge up, and I let go of the can before I'd got it on the shelf properly, and it landed straight down on the top of my foot. When I did it, it really hurt. But the swelling took a while to come up and the bruise. But when it did come out, it really came out. But yeah, unless I actually pressed on it, it didn't hurt. It hasn't hurt to walk at all or anything. So, right, I'm going to go with the dark. Yeah, definitely with the dark. We'll just glue all the way around the edge. Now, this is something else I don't normally do, and that's glue around the edge. I usually tend to glue in the middle so that I can tuck things. But for this, I need to glue the edge. Right, let's pop that there. That looks good to me. Brilliant. Right, I need photos, don't I? Well, I'm so unorganised today. Oh, we have some flip-flaps. I've been so unorganised all day. I think because I've joined a new group that does a tutorial blog and a stamp camp. And I'm getting into that this month, and things have got to be in, and that's on my mind more than anything else, to be fair. But I've got to do that. Right, I think because we've got all squares, we ought to stay square with our photos. We've got some 3x3. That's quite fancied 4x4. I've got 2x2. So let's use some of those. These out the way. I haven't got a layout in my head. I am just totally creating on the fly. So what would be nice, thinking about it, is if we did a 4x6, that could be a Lilo in our pool. There we go. And then I shall mat that in Calypso Coral. And I shall mat it in cardstock because I have way more cardstock than two-tone. Just grabbing a piece out my box. That piece. As you can see, this is sun bleached. So it's a good one to trim down. So we'll go 4 1/4. Throw that bit away. So we don't want that. I'm going to trim that very edge up because it's a bit dog-eared. And then we'll go 6 1/4. Yep, there. That looks a bit faded on the back. There we go. That'll give the impression of a Lilo in the water. Then I'm going to have a journaling piece, which will be 4x3. Let's grab another piece of scrap. Yeah, that one's okay. I've got to say, this is the worst one, colour, cardstock I've got for sun bleaching. Don't know if anyone else has found that with Calypso Coral. Don't get me wrong. I think this is the only pack of Calypso Coral I have ever brought. So it's got to be 7 or 8 years old. So yeah, hardly surprising, is it? I want a piece of basic white. Let's grab so that I can cut for my journaling. And put a 4x3. Obviously. Oh, excuse me. So I've made each of my coloured mats 1/4 of an inch bigger. And then that gives me a nice border. You've only just got into scrapbooking. What's journaling piece? Well, actually what it is wrong. I've cut it wrong. That's right, that's wrong. A journaling piece is where you write a little bit of a story about the photograph. Just to explain what the photo is or what it meant to you. I don't always put journaling on. I'll be honest. 4 1/4. I'd chop that other one down to 4, not done 4 1/4. That ends a bit. That's okay. So yeah, so you'll have your photo, sometimes more than. I've done it again. No, I've got to have cut that wrong, haven't I? So that other one was right. It's a better piece. I don't always put journaling on. This is where flip flaps are good as well, for if you've got something that's a little bit personal. You can use a flip flap, and it allows you to hide the journaling. I would use a top loading one on here, and I would put that over and then have another photo in there to cover, and then you've got privacy for your journaling that you could write on there, like flip flap. Yeah, flip flaps. We sell flip flaps. They come in different sizes. I've got the 4x3, the 4x4, and the 4x6 for photos. They do top load and side load. So that loads in from the side. That won't fit in because it's too big. And then this one loads in from the top. And then this is self-adhesive on here. So you flip it over to hide it. You don't have to do it this way, but this is how I do it. Pop that in central, take the backing off, and then pop that on there, glue it down, and then that would lift up, and you can hide your journaling if you wish, or if you've got more photos that you want to use than can fit on one page, it gives you extra space photos. They're great for that. They're great for making mini journals. All sorts. I've seen people have used them on cards. But I do like a flip flap. It's interactive as well, which is good. You do need to investigate, yes. So we'll have that there and that there, like so. I'll have a title, and then we can embellish. It's not going to need a lot of embellishment, is it? At all, because we've got this beautiful background. So I'm going to glue that in our pool, like so. I mean, it's not to say anybody else is going to look at this and say, oh, that looks like a pool with a lilo in it. They're not, but that doesn't matter, because it's for me, and that's fine. Now I am going to go over the edge with that one, because this is just a coordinating piece. And I do like sometimes things that hang over the edge. Now, as normal with my photo placements, I'm just going to add a glue dot on there. Take away some of the sticky and pop that on there. And then I'll be able to remove that when I've got my photograph to go on there. I do want to stamp or put some lines on my journaling piece. So I am going to bring in a retired, I thought I was. Thought I'd got a stamp that did lines. Maybe I've put it somewhere extremely safe because I do keep quite a lot of my older. We did have one in the scrapbooking kit. Sure we did. But where have I put that? I don't think it's in my current. I did have everything in some order, and I had those to hand, but I really don't know where that's gone. I'm going to have to investigate that, aren't I? So I'm going to have to draw some. So what I'm going to do is bring in some good paper to give me some nice direction. I'm just going to pop that on there, line that up nicely. I do have a fine liner, so I'm going to come down to about there. That's not direct, and then just draw a line across there. My writing can be quite large at times, so I'm going to do one on every other. And then depending if the photo I choose has got lots to be written about, I can always add some more in, should I wish. But I do like to have lines to write on. Otherwise my writing goes off up the page like that. And I like the touch of hand-drawn lines. It adds another dimension to it. Right. Where are we at? Oh, one more. There we go. Nice. I'll get that out of the way. And put that on there. So I can write on it when it's on. That's not a problem because it's going flat. And even if I wanted to add a second little subtitle up there, I could. Right. Now I think we need to use Summer Adventures for our title on this, and I'm going to stamp that separate and do that. But let's have some fun now. More stamp. Oops, dropped a piece of card. Stamp some images and die cut. So we'll use this piece first. We definitely need some sunglasses, don't we? Yeah. What kind of summer poolside doesn't have sunglasses? I think I'm going to use that piece somewhat smaller so I can fit two on. Beautiful. I'll colour those in. I will do a couple just in case, but I do think I only want one. What else will need to be in black? Because I don't want to do everything in black. Some things I will do coloured, but I want the camera in black. The camera will fit on here, won't it? camera done in black, so we can colour that. We've got a drink that can also be done in black. We can colour that in. Just make sure we've got a couple of those. What else have we got? Cherries. I'll have some cherries. I think most of these are going to be in black, actually. I'll colour them. The sun, I am going to stamp as is. And we're going to do that in the crushed curry, because we don't want a black sun. I'll add a couple of those. Pineapple. I think we'll do the pineapple in black. I'll colour that. And then we'll use Calypso Coral and do a couple of flowers. I've run out of blocks. Might fit on this one. Yeah. So a couple of Calypso Coral flowers and some flip-flops. Also in Calypso Coral. No, that won't fit on this. We'll just have one of those. Right. Hi, Melanie. How are you? Hope you're well. We're just stamping and colouring, ready to put on our scrapbook page that we've done using the mask. We have a colour combo of Azure Afternoon, Calypso Coral and Crushed Curry, which is quite fun. Right, give me a blend pen, and I'm just going to, I think this is quite dry. Might be too dry to pull some of that colour in. Don't want it too overpowering, the colour, but I'm not quite sure this is enough. We'll see. Right, scribble that off. I think it's quite dry. The other side. That side's not too bad. I did just touch it to my lip, not the inside of my lip, just to see if it's still wet and it's damp. You're good, thanks. Saw your daughter today. Went, oh, how lovely. I haven't been to Stevenage for years. Used to go quite often. We used to have a car show in Stevenage. Way. We used to go into Stevenage. Yeah. It's quite nice. That looks better. Now I am just colouring simply. And not, oh, can't use that end, can I? I've frayed that end. I don't want too much colour, too dark, because it'll wash out the stamp. There we go, that's better. I just wanted to make that a little bit darker. Our flip-flops. Is that a bit? Do it with that end. I think my blends also need replacing. Nice. Right. So crushed curry we haven't got, have we? So I am going to use watercolour pencil. Where do I live? I am 20 miles north of Birmingham. In between Stourbridge and Dudley. And this is the worst crushed curry colour ever. This water pencil. It looks brown. That's really odd. I'm just going to lay quite a bit of that down because it did. I don't know if you can see, but that came out with brown marks on it first, which is odd. So I'm just going to lay quite a bit of colour on there and then get that same blend pen and see if I can get rid of those brown lines. I don't mind the being brown on it because pineapples aren't bright yellow, are they? But that's better. I'll just do this one as well. So yeah, I'm nowhere near Stevenage. But we used to go miles. We used to have one in Stevenage, one in Essex, and then the rest were like up this way. That one's better actually. I like that one better. Okay, get rid of any colour that's on there. Ready to use next. You keep your pencil in a larger DVD box if quite nicely. Yeah, I've got mine in the stamp case. They just fit nicely in there. That's the two old sets. I haven't replaced them. Right, I think we're going to have to go for Azure Afternoon glasses because we've got quite a bit of pink and yellow. Oh, gone all blurry. Have I gone blurry for everyone else? Yeah, same. Yeah, they're good, aren't they, the cases? I must admit, I've got quite a few. And the big wooden ones as well that I keep things in. Yeah, nice to have them all together. Am I okay? It looks okay on my screen. Maybe it was when it was focusing. But I hope it's okay. Right, I just want this bit of scrap. A bit blurry. Back to normal now. Oh, that's okay. So I don't want to be blurry. I do like to just check my blends sometimes because the ends can be slightly different colours. Don't know if any of you have found that. I just tend to colour these this way. I don't believe there's any right or wrong way to do them. I like to put a little bit of dark in the middle. Not blurry for you, Pat? Ah, yeah, it might be a refocus. As long as it's gone back to normal, we're okay. I'm hoping for next week to be set up on new software. Whereas I use StreamYard at the moment, and it's been fantastic for me. I want to be able to have a front cover to my videos before I start, rather than just me moving around and what have you. And I have to pay for that with StreamYard, but I've been told of one where I can get it for free. Let's try the other end on this one. So sometimes the paintbrush, yeah, I mean this one, it's the other end that's darker. There's no rhyme or reason. They're all stored exactly the same in my storage. I mean, I expect somewhat a little bit when they're older and they're running out. I was saying today on my live that some of mine are lighter because they're running out. But I mean, this one isn't. Though I do prolong the life of mine. I do add alcohol to them when they're drying out, just to see if I can get a little bit more life out of them. I would only do that if my pen is like near enough run out and my only other option would be to throw it away. I wouldn't add alcohol to them when they're good. But it just allows a little bit of extra life sometimes. It is weird, yeah. There are someone else's blenders that you can get renewable and refill the pens. I can't remember whose they were though. Oh, right. Ah, that's interesting. Right, so add drinks. I think it's going to have to be some orangey lemony pieces inside. And again, it's coming out with brown. It's odd. I'll go crushed curry on there. Make all those that colour. And blend that out. When you find them, you'll let me know. You think it's Copic blend pen. Oh, right. I mean, I wonder, I've never looked, what these actually contain. I mean, you can pull the nibs out of any pen. I've pulled the nibs out of my blends. But I mean, these, I've got to have had these. Gosh. Probably 10 years. And they're still going. I don't use them very often, I'll be honest. But they are still going. Right, I'm going to use so that I can make it a bit paler, because sometimes the end lose their thickness and go thin and horrid. Yeah, they do. They do. I'm going to use a bit of the Calypso Coral watercolour pencil to colour this, so that I can make it very faint. Like so. So it's see-through, like a drink would be. Really soft. And then this one. You know, I used to use my watercolour pencil a lot. And then I stopped. And I must admit, I quite enjoy using them again. Right, use that again to bring that out. Just to get rid of those marks. It just softens colour in a little bit. Okay. like so. Isn't it just ink with rubbing alcohol? In the blends, yes, sorry. Yeah, in the blends it is. I thought you meant the blender pen. Yeah, that's just some ink with alcohol, and yeah, I've topped them up with just extra alcohol. But you can actually pull, or how I do it. Like I say, I only do it to a pen that, without doing anything to, is going to end up going in the bin. The whole end will come off rather than just the nib. So I just get a pair of pliers. Oh, great. And pull there, and that will come out. And then I tip some alcohol in there. I've never added extra ink. I've only added extra alcohol to get the through. You might try renewing it with me. Well, what have you got to lose? If it's a pen that's no good and has run out and you're going to bin it, why not try first? You know, it won't hurt, because if it ruins it, it's going in the bin anyway. Right, I'm going to, look at the nib on that one. That's because I flick a lot. And that's totally ruined. Hayden goes mad at me because he likes to use that end. I've always used the bullet end, but I have started to use the other end more because of noticing that the colour's different sometimes, and sometimes I want a lighter shade, and that allows me to get that. Right, so I'm just doing these with the blend so that it's a deeper colour for my straw. Like so. Like that. Right, we have got to add a little bit of green. It is well frayed, isn't it? Tell which colour I like to flick. I have been told, yeah, that the nibs, because our nibs will pull out, a higher or something nibs will fit. I think it was someone mentioned, but I haven't tried it. Right, green. What green shall we add to this? We want to keep it bright, don't we? So let's go Granny Apple. I'm just going to add some flicks to bits. And then I'll blend that out with that. I'm not being too perfect. They're such tiny things that you can't really tell. As long as you've got a little bit of shade into things, I think it's fine. And that's that on. Nibs on Amazon. Right. Yeah, it's something I do need to try. Because it's a shame. Because, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that pen. But that nib has lived its life. Well, I must admit, because I've still got my Stampin' Right markers, I use those now. Because I never used to want to ruin those because of using them for colouring and bits. But yeah, I'll just ruin those. Right, there's that. And our cherries. I'm not going to do the cherries because they're going to be too much, not the colour we want. Now, there are dies for this, but by the time I've done each one, whatever, it's just as quick to fussy cut. Takes quite a while to get them in place, stick them dies on, run them through. And I don't mind fussy cutting at all. Oh, miss that. There we go. Like I love these images. I think they're fab. Just really simple. Nice images to cut. Colour. We all have times when we want to make something holiday-ish, beach-ish, summer-ish, all them words-ish. Yeah, that's that one. Get rid of that. I will do the sun. Maybe the flower. Let's see. While we're doing this, I can do these separate as well, rather than having a big piece of white in the middle holding them together. There we go. So has anybody got any holidays booked? Going anywhere nice? Any nice trips away? I'm off to Pendine Sands in September. It's supposed to be for a car event. Well, it is for a car event. Whether we'll be taking the car, I don't know. We might just go in my daily. But it'll still be a nice, relaxing weekend, long weekend. I've booked us an Airbnb that's an apartment that's got a hot tub on the balcony. So I says, even if it's wet, got a dog, so don't go anywhere. Well, we're exactly the same. I go places, or Dell goes places, or occasionally we go somewhere like that, and Hayden's at home. So Hayden will look after the dog. Being it's just a weekend, we couldn't do it for a week or anything because he's at uni. So yeah, don't leave the dog for that long. But yeah, I wouldn't be without my dog. Going on a cruise in August. Wow, where's that to then? Never done a cruise. Quite fancy it, but Dell's got no interest at all. Also no fun on your no, not as fun. It depends where you go, doesn't it, and what you're up to. I mean, I like going on my own sometimes and just chilling. It's like when, I mean, it's only for a night, but when I go down to Emma's for her events and team training and that, I go down the night before, and I usually get there for tea time-ish, and I quite like going, being on my own, chilling in the hotel for a night, getting something to eat. Yeah, quite enjoy that. But it's different one night, isn't it, to actually going away by yourself. Pat says river cruise in late September, Amsterdam to Basel, then extension 3 days on Zurich. Ooh, very nice. Never been to Amsterdam. I just missed out on stage Amsterdam. Because I swapped up lines and I had to wait the 90 days. So I couldn't make Amsterdam, unfortunately, but somewhere I'd like to visit. It's with Viking and it's around various places. Oh, the Baltic. Thankfully, not one of those massive huge ships, just over 9. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Pat, that is why we are doing the Baltic cruise. We went on a Viking River cruise a couple of years ago. Fabulous. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just kind of fancy the cruise bit, like the actual shippy bit, doesn't. Yeah, it's just like being in an all-inclusive kind of complex, isn't it? Which that doesn't appeal to me at all. But the going to see lots of different places, that's what appeals. The sights out the ship, that appeals, to get a balcony cabin and on the edge and have sights out and look out over the sea. That appeals to me. But yeah, actually doing stuff like on the ship, and no, I'm not bothered about that. I'd be out in the day and then of an evening it'd be tea, early tea, and then I'd be in my cabin. I know me. I'm not an evening person. I'm not antisocial. I just prefer doing things in the day. Hubby's the same. So what we do in the day. And then we're early to bed. Right. Oh, I forgot my cameras as well. Well, we'll just go with what we've got with these two, and then we'll see where we are at. Why do I keep getting Calypso Coral and everything? Can sort those after. Right. Let's die cut these ones. I think these will be better die cut. If I can find the way they go. There we are. It's not that hard to line that one up. He did a Viking on the Douro in Portugal. Lots of wine tasting. Nice. It's been nice chatting and watching. I'm off now. Walk the dog and then bed. Have a good evening. You too, Mel. Take care. Speak to you soon. Thanks for joining. Was it a big ship? Prefer not to be on one that has about 2,000. No, I don't think I'd like a big, huge thing. Right, so we've got that one, and then we'll finish off with these two, and then we'll have a stick down and see where we get to with those. I didn't line that up very well, did I? It's going to stick out. I am conscious of the time because hubby has been evicted to the bedroom. Though to be fair, I started doing a Thursday evening because one of his mates used to do a talkie live cars and that every Thursday evening. So he'd be watching that. And I thought, well, why he's out anyway in the bedroom watching that, I may as well sit and do a live as sit and play. And then they've stopped doing it. He does it every other week now. But I had online team meeting last night, so I kicked him out of here last night. And then I kicked him out again tonight. I do feel a little bit sorry for him. That's the problem with me being in my lounge. It's a little bit awkward at times. Right, so we can decorate with these that we've got. I want to do I'm wondering actually whether to just stamp that directly on there. And I think I am. And I'm going to use black to tie in with the bits that are stamped and everything. And I'm piercing that just so that it's a better image. I'm going to go there. That looks straight. Fab. Because it's not too in your face, but it's there. And it's like mingled in with the water, which I like that. Right, now we can just decorate. That one's not the best one. With some of these. I like that. So we can add that on a dimensional maybe. A couple of 3-dimensionals. For that. Stick that there well. It pulled straight off. Yeah, that's nice. I've got to say, I liked that when that was there. So I'm going to add that on dimensionals, but I'm just going to put one in either end corner. And then that way it'll overlap, but I can still tuck my photo in there. I've got flowers, glass, flip-flops. Gotta have our flip-flops strewn about, because flip-flops are always strewn about, aren't they? They're never together. Pineapple. Not that one. Don't like that one so much. Where's my other pineapple? That's my other sun. Did cut both pineapples. There it is. Yeah, that one I'll have there. I'll pop a couple of dimensionals on there. Towards the middle, so that if it does go over, I can still stick things underneath. Not sure on these flip-flops, you know. Have a nice drink. Just keep. Sometimes I see it better when I look on the screen. If you keep wondering why I keep looking up. Oh, that's better. Yep, like that. So that's going flat. Under there. I can tuck that under a little bit, and then we can tuck that under there. Like so. Like them there. They can go flat there. Just out in the middle. Flown. to the side like that. And then maybe getting a bit heavy down the bottom, I think. And I don't want another one up the top. Don't want that up the top. So let's bring in a camera that we haven't used. And I think we'll go blue on our camera. So that's the light. That's very dark. So I'm just going to do very simple light and dark. I'm not going to shade. That's all. Let this bit in light. Can leave some bits white. Okay. I'll quickly chop this out. Oops. It's very noisy with cars outside. And I did have the door open. I had to pull it too because next door's children were playing in the garden, screaming, and that they've got the paddling pool and that out, so they were screaming. I was like, yeah, I don't need to listen to that. Yeah, that just balances up there a little bit. I could cut it. I can pop it under there. That's it. There we go. I quite like that. It's simple. It's taken some time, I know that, but it's simple. Think I'm going to put a fun in the sun. Summer adventures. Fun in the sun. Maybe not. It's a bit. Would have been better around there somewhere. I could do it in bright blue on there. And that'd really stand out then, wouldn't it, on there? Do we do bright blue or do I go? We've got a lot of blue and we need some more crushed curry. There we go. That just pops that on there. And we can still journal on there. Right, a bit of bling. What we got? Don't think we want ladybugs. Those are the wrong colours. Butterflies, no. Silver. Don't know what blue they are. Not quite right. They're a bit muted, aren't they? I've got Calypso Coral. Or we can go for some nice sequins. Should we go for sequins? Oops, dropping more stuff. That looks amazing. You have given me inspiration to use stamped embellishment. Yeah. Go for it. Stamp, stamp, stamp. I do. Don't get me wrong, I've got ephemera packs and I use those and I love those. But yeah, just stamp your images and do it. We'll use these deeper orange, I think. We'll have some around our sun. I don't actually know what colour they are. Not. I'll go with those there. I'll have some. That's a small one, isn't it? So I'll keep small one there. Larger one down here, tucked in there. And a small here. And then something around here. Here. Now I'm stuck. I've got those three there. Three there. Because those are level. Those are level. Ah! I'll just put them around the corner here. There we go. That's better. Yeah, just have fun with it, Pat. I haven't been scrapbooking that long. Memory keeping in other ways, yeah. 12 by 12 scrapbooks, no. They scared me. It was a big area to have to do, and I didn't like it. Sometimes I struggle now, depending on what size of images and that I've got. How long have I been scrapbooking like this regularly? Probably say 12 months, something like that, maybe. But yeah, I just go with it. And the thing is, because we are the type of people we are, creatives, if you get an idea in your head, run with it. Like I had the idea of this, making it like a swimming pool in the middle. That was all I had. But I knew I wanted to do that. Partway through making this, I was like, I'm not sure about this. And that happens a lot with me. And I just trust it and go with it. And like I say, because we are the way we are, it ends up working. Because we do things subconsciously a lot of the time that make it right. But have fun. You know, I have bits that end up in the bin. Don't get me wrong. I do put stuff in the bin. I hide things a lot. Right, let's switch cameras. So there we go. I am glad I have inspired you. That is what I am here to do. That is my aim. That is why I like doing this. I like sharing. And I just want to inspire with everything that I put out. So thank you if I've done that. I've done my job. If only hooked a month. My head was totally scrambled until I did a page for Emma's team event and got, that's it, isn't it? That page was amazing. The display you two put together, you and Maggie, was amazing, I have to say. Yeah, that was inspiring. You've set a very high bar there. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. My job is complete. I have to say, yeah, that's all I want to do. You know, share my love for the products and the craft that I do. And yeah, I love it. Thank you, Carol. That's very kind. Thanking you. Right, I'm going to go and let hubby come back in here. Hopefully he'll make me a cup of tea. Who knows? But I'm going to tidy up and then get this downloaded and uploaded onto YouTube tomorrow. So thanks very much for joining me all. It's been lovely having you here. I've really enjoyed this evening, and I shall see you all next week. So have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the sunshine that we are supposed to be having, and make sure you keep yourselves cool as it warms up. So I'll see you all then. Bye.